sometimes opening up to that guy you think you can trust is opening up to him and the whole football team. I'm just being honest. I'm gonna tell you the truth about high school because if I don't, then nobody's going to.
Woman hanging on my neck, the bracelet matches the check. My brother name is Tina Dollar. Stop all that back and forth over the net.
Hey guys, it's me Sanaa and welcome back to another YouTube video. I definitely felt like I wanted to come on here and talk about some things that I wish I knew before I went to high school. I think last time I posted a YouTube video was like, let me get the exact day. January 7th, 2024. And it's now June 16th, 2025. Ever since my last video, I've had so many different changes, and I definitely feel like senior year taught me a lot about high school. I recently graduated a little bit over a month ago, and I feel like there are so many different things that I wish I knew before I started that could have changed a lot of different outcomes. In this video, I'm going to be covering GPAs, social life, mental health, your future, and some bonus advice. Okay, let's get right into it. So first, let's talk about academics. Obviously, high school is about academics. It's about reaching your goal GPA, taking the classes you want to take, and really just putting yourself out there. The atmosphere that I was in, I would definitely say that I felt like overachieving and taking a bunch of honor and AP classes was definitely pushed. I wouldn't say forced, but it was pushed a lot, if you get my drift. I was not a straight A student. I was more of an A-B student because I knew that I wanted to be well-rounded, and I pushed myself in other aspects more than just academics. Granted, if there was one class I would have taken that didn't, it would definitely be AP Bio, because at the time, my major was biology, but looking back on it, now that I've changed my major, that may not have even helped me be where I want to be because my mindset was different. So yes, if you're secure in your major for college and you know, let's say for example, you want to be a lawyer, or you know, you want to go into economics, I would definitely say a class like AP macroeconomics or microeconomics would benefit you, because that would be on your class list for college, and if you score higher on your AP exam, you can get that class exempt, I think. But for me at the time, I wanted to have bio as my major, and I changed it to health science. Not saying the two aren't related, and granted, I probably would have learned a lot of different things in AP bio that would have helped me just to have in the back of my head for knowledge. And now that I switched my major, it's not as important anymore. So that's just my personal opinion. And I definitely say that just because the friends around you are taking harder classes does not mean that you should. A lot of my friends were involved in AP classes, and I'm not saying they were struggling. They would definitely express to me that it was challenging at times, because obviously it's an AP class. It's not meant to be easy. But as someone who was trying to be more well-rounded and not have to devote just so much time to homework and studying for a big exam coming up because it was an AP class, it just wasn't for me. I'm just saying that it's really about personal preference, and I'm saying not to let the people around you influence what you do. At the end of the day, the GPA is what matters, in my opinion. And granted, like I said, having those classes on your transcript is, you know, it looks good for colleges, but I knew that they could also see my GPA. And at my school, we were on a 5.0 scale, and I think my GPA at the end of the senior year was a 4.1. Like I said, I'm going to HBCU, I'm going to Spelman College, and not saying that I don't need those, you know, high classes to get into that school, but I'm just saying that I wasn't on the same track as someone who's trying to go to Harvard or Yale, if you get my drift. So that means that I didn't have a whole lot to prove as they did on their transcript, because my school wasn't as competitive as theirs. Going further into academics would be the teachers that teach you. You need to form relationships, okay? I feel like I did not take advantage of tutoring as much as I should have, when I should have. If you just nod your head and smile, they're going to think that you understand it. So you should definitely make sure that if somebody's teaching you a lesson in class, you should ask a question right then and there. And if you can't ask it then, go to office hours so that you can make sure you're getting whatever you need answered. I would definitely not recommend waiting until the day before a test to go in and ask all your questions. I know cramming is like a very common habit, but it's really not a good habit to have. And you want to make sure that you're building strong habits in high school so that when you get to college, you can have the habits that are already built instead of trying to break a bad pattern in one of the most important times of your life and for your career. With that being said, let's segue a little bit into like the co-curriculars and outside of academic stuff. Community service is very important. Apparently, my class, 2025, was the most number of graduates that have ever been seen. And with that being said, the application pool for colleges, yeah, you can only imagine the competition that I was up against. Hands-on Atlanta will be your best friend, okay? So Hands-on Atlanta, let me tell you why I like it. My school use our own type of little app to track our hours, but let's say your school doesn't have that. Hands-on Atlanta is going to track your hours for you. So you basically just go on there, sign up with your email. It's very, very simple. If you're under 18, you're going to need a parent to sign off on every community service event that you do. Once you go on there, you're going to scroll, right? You can pick any community service you want. You can pick food pantries, hospitals, daycare, Boys and Girls Club, whatever you want. You're going to just go on there and sign up for it. I would definitely start soon, though, if you have it. If you have, I'm proud of you. If you haven't, it's okay. I'm telling you now, so it's time you just, do something when you can. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. The friends that you start with in high school, most of the time, or at least for me in my experience, will not be the friends that you end with. And that is okay. The people that I came into high school with were people that I shared mentalities with at the age of 14. I am now 18 and I have graduated. So as you can see, things have changed, not only with me and the person, but mentally with me. My mindset is not the same. And I feel like everyone grows in their own different ways as you become older, and I genuinely feel like friends that you don't have the same mindset with in certain aspects will sort of break off from you, and that's okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. So as I went through high school, I realized the type of life that I wanted for myself. I realized that, I enjoyed partying. I enjoyed doing the things people do in high school, little stuff like that. But I also knew that I had a reputation, okay? I had a reputation. And let me tell you something. People talk. And when they start talking, it's no stopping it, okay? It's no stopping it. And you have to really surround yourself with people who have the same goals as you, who have the same morals as you. Because if you don't, you're going to start clashing like this. And I'm not saying that you can't have friends that you agree with on every single thing. I'm not saying all your friends have to agree with you and just be a yes man. But certain things, when you get older, you might not be able to tolerate anymore like you did when you were a freshman or when you were a sophomore. Because the truth is, when you're a senior, you're becoming a young adult. You're about to go to college, or you're about to enter the real world if you're not going to college. And it's you really start to figure out a little bit of who you are and what you want. And not everyone's going to want the same thing around you. And let me give you an example. I'm going to be very transparent when I say that in high school, there are some substances and certain things that people are going to be doing around you that people indulge in. The thing about that is that when you're so young, you really can't, and you're doing it, it's hard for you to control yourself in the moment. Even adults, it's hard to control yourself. And I just think that when you're around people that don't know how to control themselves when it comes to that, and you're really, really close to them in that area, you can start to get affiliated people who do those things, even if you don't do it, okay? If you're close to someone who does, you might get categorized as, oh, that's the girls that be at the parties doing all this, and they be doing all that. And whether you like it or not, teachers be knowing. Teachers be knowing the truth, because every student or most student has a teacher that they go to. If you have a safe space, every student has that one teacher they go to tell about their weekend or what's been going on in their lives. And teachers do talk. They talk. So I'm not saying that teachers can't keep things confidential, but some of them can't. And the ones who can't will go tell their teacher best friend, well, your business. And now the teachers know your business, and they're going to tell their friend. And then the staff knows. And I feel like I definitely saw that around me when I was in high school. Teachers were not oblivious to things that were going on because they were also once our age. So just keep that in mind. And you're also going to have different opinions on certain situations and the way situations have been handled. And I feel like people obviously change, people grow apart, and that's okay? That's going to be fine. But if you feel like it's taking a toll on yourself, then that's not your friend. I would find myself hanging out with certain people, and I just feel like my energy after would be so negative, and I'd be so irritated. And I would be like, why? And the truth is because energies are real, and people's energies rub off on each other, and you feed off of each other. So when you're around a group of people and they don't have the best intentions, or they have negative energy, then it's gonna reflect when you're by yourself after hanging out with them. It took me up until senior year to find a group of people that I really felt like I could be my authentic self and just flow freely with. And I'm so glad that I found these people. And I want to say that it's never ever too late to start over. If you feel like people that you're around right now are not serving you in the best way possible, it's okay to take a step back from them and, you know, go find other people that you can really get along with. Friendships go through things, but certain things are just the bare minimum and just respect. And if somebody can't give you that, then they're not your friend. I feel like we are too quick sometimes to give second chances. And people do deserve second chances, but it's like, how many chances can you really give someone before it becomes just slaps in the faces and just blatant disrespect? And that's what I'm a firm believer in. And if I'm being honest, you really only need about 1 to 2 close friends in high school, okay? I only consider myself to have literally 2 close friends in high school, and that's really it. Stay away from people who try to mask jokes as the truth. People will sit here and make little side comics in a joke, and at the time you probably like you funny, you know what I'm saying? You probably laughing along like, you know what, you so funny, like you you know what I'm saying? You probably laughing with them, and then you look back, you like, they was really trying to throw shade at me with that joke. They wasn't joking, they was being for real. True friend, if they really feel a certain way about you, should come to you directly about the situation. There's been too many times when people will have an issue and they'll go bounce around the subject and bounce around the subject and bounce around the subject and this isn't this. If someone did me blatantly disrespectfully in my face, the way I would probably go about it is, if I really felt like the friendship was worth saving, I would approach them one-on-one. Stay away from those that do things to get the attention of the opposite gender in your face. If you're with your friends, y'all playing a game or whatever, it's supposed to be like, you know, a very little harmless game, and your friend wants to make a joke about like, oh, didn't you do that so-and-so? And it was like a very embarrassing thing. It's kind of like, what was your, you know, what did you want to gain from bringing that up type thing? You know what I'm saying? That does definitely happen. Especially if it's like a girl trying to get attention of a guy or vice versa. People will do it and you won't pick up on it until it happens too many times. Relationships, okay? Now me, I'm the best person to talk about this, y'all. I've had so many experiences with different things. I can't get into it, okay? I done had so many different like little situationships in high school. Let me tell you something. Situationships in high school? Oh baby, I'm gonna hold your hand. Let me hold your hand. It's not worth it. Okay, yeah, we all had that little person we thought was gonna be our little forever husband in high school. You know how stuff go. And I just feel like, I'm not gonna say I wasted my time, because anything in the past has always been a lesson for me, no matter what kind of mistake it was. But all I'm gonna say is, make sure you are continuously living in the moment, okay? Because we're so young, we're in high school, it's so easy to get, I'm not gonna say be gullible, but be very vulnerable with somebody and think that you can trust this person with everything. And granted, some people you will have people you meet in high school that were really, that you talked to or dated, that you feel like, it was a good little relationship and it worked out for you, you know what I'm saying? Even if it ended, it was probably a good relationship, the person respected you, it was great. But everyone still has some growing to do. Guys can be messy. And girls can be messy too, we all know that. But guys can be messy, and guys talk just as much as girls do, okay? Sometimes opening up to that guy you think you can trust is opening up to him and the whole football team. I'm just being honest. You gonna sit here thinking that, oh my God, I could trust this person, and he over here telling the whole football team, everything you done told him. Now you looking crazy. Now he got you looking crazy. And I'm not telling you to go break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend because of what I just said. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that be very mindful. And one thing that was common knowledge that I just didn't follow was, when somebody shows you who they are, the first time, believe them. Whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, or even a friend, okay? When somebody shows you who they are, please believe them. When you're this young, like I said, you're vulnerable. So when you like somebody, it's kind of hard to see the red flag sometimes, because it's just like, red flag, red flag, red flags. And you kind of just move them out the way. Another thing about relationships is that keep your business private. And I didn't learn to keep things private until I got to senior year and I, got a boyfriend again. But some people out here are preying on your downfall in your relationships, or even just in general. So I guess it could be like a general thing, but if you have a plan for something, keep it private until you know that you're really secure with it and nothing can deter you from it before you share with other people, because people will really be out here, even if it's a close friend, somebody you don't know who has like ill intentions, they will put negative energy out there and mask it with support, but it's really not support. There was a really, big scholarship that I was going for my senior year, and I knew about it in May of my junior year. Okay, I knew I wanted to apply to this scholarship. I knew that I wanted to go for it, and I set my mind on it. I promise y'all, no one knew that I even applied for the scholarship until October-ish of my senior year. I had sat on it for months, over the whole summer, a little bit into senior year. No one knew for real until like at least even earliest, maybe end of August, September. So I sat on it for some months before I told like the broader group of people. I'm not saying I didn't share with like one of my close friends or two of my close friends, but for the most part, people that like would be considered like in a friend group or whatever you want to call it, they did not know about it, because I didn't want anybody out there who had malicious intent to, catch hearing of, oh, she's trying to apply for this big scholarship. She doesn't deserve it, because that in itself is putting bad energy out there. So keep things to yourself until you know that you're 10 out of 10 for sure about it. Next, I'm going to talk about mental health and well-being. Okay. This is a big one, because I feel like something that I am still not struggling with, but I'm still learning more and more about it every single day. And the first one is social media is not real. Okay, social media is literally the opposite of the reality of life, and I feel like I didn't even realize that until end of my junior year for real. When the opposite gender is, telling you, oh, I like girls with curves or whatever. First of all, you're in high school, your body's still developing, okay? And I don't know if y'all see me, but I'm not, I don't got that, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like when guys make slick comments to me about my body, like ever since middle school, guys have been making slick comments to me about my body. And obviously it doesn't feel good, but I had to realize that like they're going low key based off what they see on social media. They're looking at people like Ruby Rose and India Love. And baby, I'm not Ruby Rose, nor am I India Love, and nor am I 25 years old, okay? Oh, you talking about these BBL? BBL? Baby, I'm 16. BBL. I put that on myself to get in the gym and work out and do this. Oh my God, because I'm also looking at these girls on social media. And I'm not saying they aren't beautiful, because they definitely are, but these women are also grown, okay? It doesn't feel good to be the girl that is considered like flat, because that was me. I was considered flat, okay? Maybe I should love that. But, it doesn't feel good being that person. I feel like it's all because of social media. And that's not okay. And I just want anybody out there who's going through that to know that you're still maturing. Your body is still developing. You are not even 18 yet. For those of you who aren't 18, you're not even 18 yet. You're talking about your body. Even at 18, you're not even fully developed yet, okay? So remember that social media puts these unrealistic expectations on things for you to achieve or accomplish or look like, and it's not the reality at all. Know that your body's going to change as you get older, and because you're just so young, it's not happening right now. And even if it doesn't happen when you're older, it's going to be okay, because there's somebody out there for everybody. I feel like even if somebody was very, very confident in themselves, those comments, it might not hurt as bad, but it still, it still sticks with you what someone says about you for sure. And not even just personal things, but also like relationship things. Like social media has you thinking that your man supposed to be sitting over here providing you with a luxury home at the ripe old age of 17, with flowers at your door every single day, putting you in the red Lamborghini. Like, this man can only afford a $20 meal from Wendy's because he's 17 and he's a full-time student with no job. I mean, what else did you really expect, okay? Social media in itself, it's easier said than done, obviously, to not let it consume you. And if it does consume you, then definitely talk to somebody else about it. Because I feel like what we don't realize as human beings, that there's always somebody else out there going through something going through the exact same thing that you are, if not something very, very similar. And I feel like talking to friends who understand me and friends who can also keep you grounded really helps a lot with that. And just granting yourself some grace, understanding that you're a human being coming of age and you're in one of the most vital times of your life where you learn like a lot of different things about yourself and a lot of different lessons. And you make mistakes, but you get up from them, you learn from them, and you move forward. You don't let those mistakes define you. You let them shape you into the best version of yourself you can be. And that's what's really important. For me, I was very open with my counselor at times. Like, I really love my counselor. So definitely talk to your counselor, but I know a lot of people feel like they can't really open up to their counselor. So like I said, a teacher that you really trust, that you can be vulnerable with, would be great, because I feel like open up to your friends is a good thing, but some of them are also going through the same things as you, and they, I feel like adults just have a different type of wisdom, in my personal opinion, that sometimes friends can't offer. I definitely think that opening up to an adult, even if it's not a family member because sometimes people say, they feel like they don't really want to tell their parents certain things out of like judgment, but I feel like an adult that you trust, that, I'm not saying go out here and open up to anybody now, but an adult that you trust would be, a really good option. And if you can afford therapy, or if your family's open to therapy, I would say definitely getting a therapist. I know a lot of people around me have therapists, and I feel like they have definitely told me that it's really helped them with, certain things, because therapists are people who are really, really outside and don't know anyone in your life, so they're going to give you raw and real advice. A little bonus advice that I have for you is not really off topic, but I feel like it is definitely important, is to just go for it. Go for anything, no matter what. We all heard the phrase, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but that is 100% true. And I feel like in life we live too much in fear of judgment, and I feel like that's a big reason also why I didn't post on YouTube, because I was scared. But at this point, it's like, who are you to judge me? And that's the mindset that you should have. Who is somebody else to judge you? And for me, I'm religious. The only person that can judge me is the God up above. But even if you aren't religious, who is anyone to judge you, okay? Life is about you creating your own path. And if you don't put yourself out there and don't advocate for yourself, no one else is obligated to advocate for you. You are your biggest fan. So why not put yourself out there and go for anything that comes ahead of you? I'm so glad to offer y'all any advice. Obviously, everyone's, journey in high school is different, but I hope that what I can give you can help you in some way, shape, or form. Until next time, muah.